Hi. Hi. How are you? Meow.
Kenny's a bottom, is what I heard. So that
Yep.
and joining us tonight to speak ball is my buddy Gordy. What's up, Gordy?
How's it going, guys?
Oh, now he's not my friend?
Well, you get my friend and your friend,
I'm
everyone's
everybody's. I'm
friend.
the friend of the pod. Are you kidding me?
We have the same porn search history. We're best friends at this point.
Gordy, welcome back to the podcast. It's been a little bit, but hey, I think we got a couple new listeners since then that may
It's
not
good
know
to be
you.
back.
So
Yeah.
Gordy comes in. Gordy is very in touch with ball, and probably Gordy. I think the NBA is probably your favorite, or basketball is probably your favorite, right?
Basketball is my favorite sport for sure. I go basketball, football, baseball. As a tight, compact three with hockey stepping down. But soccer doesn't come into play for me. So.
I think even hockey fans are stepping down.
There's only
In
one
this
bright
city
spot.
right now, they probably should be.
There's only one bright spot. Owen Tippett. That guy looks good.
Is that their elite? Is that their elite talent? Did you see ESP's tweet the other day?
Oh, that guy shouldn't be talking sports if he's got soccer above hockey. I don't care how bad it gets. But you can't.
Hold on a second. Wait fucking stop the fucking presses. You fucking said that soccer was gonna take over hockey. You said that.
It's just a legitimate fact. I can read the fucking numbers.
You can't give him shit for bringing soccer into the equation.
I can, because if you're going to bring soccer into the equation, you have to bring hockey into the equation, right? You can't just shit and say, oh, like hockey's been irrelevant. I mean, just for a year or two. They've had good times.
I don't trust him to judge soccer, or I don't really at all, but when he starts talking
about
that
guy watch my kids.
When he tells me that Hurts' season depends on how many touchdowns he throws in preseason, that's all I need to hear.
He really thought he was cooking something up when he made that tweet. He was like, if he doesn't get it, tweet's gonna look good.
That was a bad fucking tweet. But anyway, I was told that Kenny had something very important to start this podcast. So Kenny, please take it away.
All right, two things. First thing, fuck Idaho, you potato picking motherfuckers. Who do you root for? Who do you fucking root for, Idaho, Montana, same fucking shithole. Fuck you. Secondly, I told you last week that the MLB was going to extend the beer. I said that. I said there's no fucking way they're just going to end it in the seventh inning, beer sales, when the games are lasting 3 minutes long. So I was right. I just wanted to point that out. Fuck you. Fuck Jason McLaughlin.
So after all is said and done, first of all, we add another state to the Kenny hatred list. I think
we're up to growing list.
Yeah, it is a growing list. I think we're up.
It's a growing list.
7.
There's a whole Providence in Canada.
Kenny can't even might not be able to take a drive soon. He just hates everything.
He's taking it international with the hatred.
But no, the beer sales, it's hilarious, right? Because for the longest time, it was like, oh, well, we need to make sure that everybody can get home safely, and we want to, we want to take care of the people. That's bullshit, by the way. I figured that out, right?
Yeah, they want to make money.
It's all about the dollar bills, y'all. And that's why it's ridiculous, in my opinion, that the Phillies only have $3 dog nights. Guys, have dollar dog night every Tuesday home game. Every time you have a Tuesday night home game, it's dollar dog night. That shit. When they sold out this game tonight, it's dollar dog night.
Was sold out.
Yeah, dollar dogs, dude.
I didn't actually know that. I didn't realize that. Wow.
Is waiting in line for boiled hot dogs really worth it? They're literally like $3.50. They're not expensive.
Is waiting in line worth it? Apparently, waiting in line for nothing is because you missed half the game.
You gotta let it go.
You do miss a lot of the game.
No, I'm not letting it go. I'm not letting it go. It's the worst rule in baseball, and they're going to change it. I'm going to talk shit on it until they do. And then when they change it, I'll probably complain about that too. Anyway.
It's in your nature. I get it. You get it.
When do they change
so
it, though? When do you think they do? Just out of curiosity. All-Star
next
game?
year? No,
Yeah,
next
they see
year.
it this year.
You think they're going to let the playoffs?
I think that they will because they are dumb.
It's only
And-
ruined if your team doesn't win the World Series, right?
That's probably true.
Like if the Phillies win the World Series, we're gonna say the
Love
pitch
it.
clock was the
Keep
greatest.
those rules. Oh, I mean, like I think they change something though. And if they do keep it for the playoffs, they're gonna have to change something. They're gonna have to add some extra time to that clock because you can't expect people to play at that same pace when the games mean that much, right? Like you got to make some kind of a playoff.
Did you
switch.
guys see the Cardinals pitcher? I think yesterday, the dude. I've never seen anything like this. This dude literally would get the ball back and he was set within like 3 seconds. The hitters
He's
have
doing it
zero
all-
shot. Yeah,
on purpose.
of course he is.
Whatever. It's so stupid. It's such a dumbass rule. It's just extra bullshit that doesn't need to happen. I don't know. Right? The batters and the pitchers that were assholes about it because they are the reason that this happened.
I mean,
You
you
know.
literally have batters that were Cotton Eye Joeing before they would go up the bat. I mean, seriously. So
And in
like,
between every pitch, they're like, "Oh, let me do this. Love this glove. Let me
Yeah.
fix this elbow pad. Let me fucking touch my right ball sack. Let me scratch my left big toe." It was ridiculous, and I get it. I totally get it. 15 seconds is just not enough, and it's fucking stupid. Let's move on. So we won't really talk about the Phillies right now because this podcast is mostly about the Sixers preview. Now, I will say
I got a boo boo fry.
What?
I got a boo boo.
Did you burn yourself?
No, I fucking hit it on the cinder block in the basement. Idiot.
Idiot.
Choo choo.
I do want to come back though to the Phillies, so we will make it back. We will make. So anyway, let's start this off by saying, will win the MVP award.
Well,
Does
that's what happens
Does
when you cry for 3 straight seasons.
Oh, he's winning the MVP,
I
and
don't
it's
think
well
it's
deserved.
Yeah.
Crying or not.
Oh, I don't care. I just think it's funny that every fan base is trying to say because he cries, he's a pussy.
It's so ridiculous. The fan bases that are talking about him being a foul merchant too, and that's primarily your Jokic Nuggets fans.
Well, the Bucks fans too, and they don't even know that the Greek Freak has more free throws than him.
Yeah, that's a great point, dude.
Thank you.
I mean, more free throws for the Freak than for Joel, and it's just it's brutal to watch and listen. The Sixers are the #1 free throw shooting percentage team in the NBA. They are not the team that takes the most free throws. I think they're like they're 5th or they're 8th, something like that. And
So
they
let
got
me get this
him
straight.
and Harden.
So because they make their 3 throws, they're considered merchants, right?
Correct.
Interesting how that
That's
line will
exactly
work
what it is.
against you every time.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Because they're actually good at their and can shoot the ball, which when was the last time we said that about every starter on a Sixers roster?
93.
They get
Great
they
point.
get penalized. You know? Like it's yeah.
By the
Joel
way,
wins the
leading the league in free throw attempts, which I saw it was ridiculous of how many they had, but it's the Lakers. I mean, and it's not even close. It's like over. They're 26.6. No, I mean, to tell the truth about how lopsided that feels to me. To be honest, the Sixers are.
They're trying to let LeBron win one more before they put a bullet in the back of his career. I feel confident about that.
Well, I mean, you do have the mighty Detroit Pistons, all of there near the top too, but those are pity fouls at that point. So,
hey, boys and girls of all ages, make your free throws. Make your free throws.
So, I'm going to make free throws. You're going to find yourself on the court in crunch time. How about that?
That's right. That's right.
Just a little heads up too. If the Heat lose this game tonight as the 7 seed, the first 7 seed to lose a game since the play-ins have started.
Which, by the way, Kenny thinks the play-ins are stupid.
I didn't say that specifically.
You kind of did.
I just said,
implied it.
I just said it's unfortunate for this case scenario because if you're a Heats fan, you're robbed of the playoffs now. Even though
that's
you
not true.
Not
Why?
true. As a 7 seed and 8 seed, you get to play another game to make the 8 seed.
So if the
Got
Heat
it.
lose tonight, they still will play the winner.
Is
Of,
it another home game?
Yeah, they would.
Yes, it
no,
is.
they would.
Is it home, Gordy?
No, they would have to go on the road, right?
I don't
The
think
higher
so.
seed.
They might be. I think they're home because they're the higher seed in the end. They're the higher
Right.
seed.
So they'll play the
And they
winner.
still want
of-
to reward them for their regular season victories, right?
Right. Yeah.
Which
It,
they
it
should.
stays as a reward.
I don't hate it. I just think it's weird that all the commissioners are all conspiring to change the leagues that have been going pretty well for, decades.
What I don't understand is why you play 82 fucking games and then you still need a fucking play-in to decide who's 7 and 8. Like
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
listen,
Like if you were
first of all, we're already letting half of the league in the fucking playoffs. Do we really need to decide? I don't know. That's like my only hang up with this. I kind of brought this up, Gordy, on Friday when I saw you on the links,
Mm-hmm.
and
Links.
I don't know why it's necessary after 80. We need to try. Yeah, let's see. Let's just make sure that you're actually the 8th best team in the conference. I don't know.
Meaning the first team to get steamrolled. Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
Like
right.
that's, yeah.
they could just, shave 10 games off and then it would kind of make a little more sense, right?
Could
I
you
would love
imagine?
it if they shaved 10.
Could you imagine how good the product would be if they cut the games down and you didn't have the resting, you didn't have the load management, you didn't have any of that bullshit. Take
You
the
don't have
average
the back-to-backs. Take
and no,
the
you don't have
back-to-backs
to
out.
back bullshit. Take that out of the equation, and you have best every night from every guy. That's lights out. I mean, why doesn't? I mean, I get why because with record books and shit like that. So I get that part of it.
It's just a new era. That's all. It's just a new era.
Well, it's an era where these guys make so much money that the franchises want to protect them. I mean, they're literally paid to play a game, but if they play the game too much, they break down. So they're like, yeah, we don't want to play it too much. I mean, I saw something next year in order to be on any of the All NBA team stuff, whatever. They have to play. I think it's 65 games, something like
that's
that.
fair.
See, but that's right where the line is. If you make the 570 games, that's exactly where that's the.
And you strike, but you keep the time out. The season has to still take up until now,
yeah.
So that you don't have the back-to-backs and stuff. Because what they would do is they would shrink the games down, and then you still have the compressed schedule backs, which makes no sense.
No,
but
Dude,
you should
think about it.
list the guys that would not have been able to qualify because they played less than 65 games or 66 games, like Jimmy Butler, LeBron, Anthony Davis, a whole bunch of all-stars would not have been eligible for any all-NBA teams based on that if that was in place this year.
Why can't they just give each team a week break in the middle of the season? You know what I mean? They could rotate that in easily. That would still secure your season long. It's just a week bye. Yeah.
I don't disagree. I think the NBA has, if there's a league that's going to do something like that and be the first to do it, it will be the NBA. If there's a league that decides, this is how we're going to do it, it's not going to be MLB. Their union's too strong, and they want to make as much money as they can for their players. Or the players want to make as much money.
Kyle Lowry is taking over. Sorry.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. He just hit the last 5 points.
Kyle Lowry dusting them off.
Kyle Lowry,
He
7.
He had a shitty season. You know what I mean? The whole year. And now he wants to put on his fucking Toronto Raptors shoes.
Kyle
and decide to play
Yeah.
basketball.
Kyle Lowry.
Listen, Lowry's a gamer. We know him from Villanova, man. I've always loved Kyle over there, but God, he was irritating to play against.
Yeah, he was a pain.
Oh my God! So
Hey, I got
he's a notorious flopper. Talk about a foul merchant.
what a funny title, foul merchant.
Hey, Gordy, has there Has there ever been an MVP that wasn't first team NBA?
I
In their
do
position?
not think so.
So
I
is this
do
going to
not
be the
think so.
first year?
It could be. It actually
Which
could be.
you can't be the MVP and then be like second team NBA. It's just crazy to me, right?
Well, they voted in forwards for forward spots, and there's only one. So dumb, dude.
Yeah, but if you're the MVP of the league and you're a center,
Yeah,
it's an automatic first NBA All-Star team, whatever it is.
Absolutely. You know what's really bad about that? A lot of these guys, and Joel is one of them, they have standard language in NBA contracts. If you're a first team All NBA, it opens up additional money in your next contract.
Oh,
Like
you said the M. Gordy, you
money.
Yeah. That's what
There
they
you
all
go.
want to hear, man. You said it. Money.
And that's what happens, dude. If you get these postseason awards, you get more money. You can go another, I don't know if it's 10%, 15%, 20% above whatever they would be able to pay you without that award. And the NBA is, I believe, the only, I mean, other leagues build in bonuses, but not like that. You get this level of a postseason award voted on by the players and the media, you get this additional amount of money in your next contract. And that's so when guys and these media members go on these crusades to say, not that guy because we don't like him, it actually messes with somebody's money. How do you give that kind of power to a media guy, to somebody from the Ringer, or to one of us?
So, right, you might to one of
it
us.
might as well be
seriously.
us. Sponsor us, Ringer.
Yeah.
It should be a GM vote, I think.
I agree. I think it should be a combo vote. Honestly, I think it should be it should be a player vote. I think it should be a fan vote minimally, and I think it should be a head coach vote. I think there should be three.
I get the fan vote out of anything. It's always screwed up because
no. I'm saying you weight it like the fan vote doesn't count as heavy as the player.
Well, of course, but even so, you start getting fucking MVP votes for like fucking Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, but you put 10% weight on it, and it doesn't really matter. You just make the fans feel like they have a voice, just like Major League Baseball does.
You know who shouldn't have a voice?
They stuff the ballot backs. So I don't care what anybody says.
It's fucking JJ Redick. The fuck is that?
That was bad.
Shout out to Michelle Castellanos who just liked my tweet. Just saying.
You know how I feel about them mommies.
I did.
We got the Heat game on Gamecast. I think y'all are watching it. We got a 6-point game right fourth quarter.
The Hawks are just chucking threes and praying they go in. It's actually crazy.
The Hawks are actually being coached better now in this part of the season, late, because they got Quinn Snyder on the bench. But if they lose this, it's because they stop attacking the basket. Miami can't handle their speed and quickness.
Well, that's not really the 3-point situation is not really their MO. So that kind of tells me that they're a little bit in panic. Because I was looking at it earlier, and the Hawks are actually in 3-point attempt per game.
I'm so fucking sick of the Hawks.
I'm sick of Trey
Clint
Young,
Capella. Yeah, Trey Young and his lollipop hair. Cut your hair.
He's not the one on that roster that bothers me more than anybody else. You know who does?
Is it
Collins? John
Collins? Yeah. I knew it. I knew it was gonna be Collins.
Collins is, dude. You want to talk about an overrated player? That dude stinks. He's
Fournier. How do you say that? Evan
Fournier.
Yeah, he stinks.
He does stink too. He's terrible. He's absolutely true. I've seen him play maybe one good game in, I don't know, a decade of basketball watching with them. Like, he's bad. He is just bad.
So the Sixers come into the playoffs I mean, I feel good about them. Let's go round table and let's just get temperature on how you feel about the 3 seed going in. I feel good. I'm at my level for them going into this series particular is 10. My confidence level for the playoffs in general is 8. Kenny?
I mean, if they lose to Brooklyn, it's a massive, colossal fail. That's if you
Sure.
don't feel like it's a 10, you don't know anything. Bridges, is it Bridges? Why am I drawing a blank?
It's
yeah,
Bridges,
right.
Yeah, it's Bridges.
I mean, he'll easily sway one game away from you, easily, with ease. He'll steal something along the way. I don't know what game. And then confidence level. I mean, I'm at a 7 just because history.
7 isn't terrible.
I mean, that's fair with their history. Nets series 10. I'm extremely confident. I don't disagree. Nets probably get one of them somewhere along the way.
Bridges will be an upset in Philly, like game 1, to really just set the fucking tone and really just drive this city into a frenzy.
God, dude.
Just to absolutely, yeah. And so we got to listen.
I hope it's not that.
Old Sixers phone calls nonstop, you know? The playoffs overall, probably like an 8.5. This is different. This team has a different feel to it for me. And I don't like a matchup against Boston just because Boston's a tough team, but you got to beat tough teams to get to the championship. And ultimately, the 3 best teams in the league are in the East this year. Because I got news for you. Whoever the champ is coming out of the East. It's not going to be any of the teams coming out of the West.
I feel the same way.
You're wrong. This is the Lakers championship they'll lose.
The Lakers are actually very dangerous as an 8 seed. No.
You're on conspiracy theory lane, okay?
They're
That's
hot.
what you are.
No, they are hot and they are getting healthy and they are actually very dangerous as an 8 seed.
You don't want to play LeBron.
They could beat the Nuggets. They could absolutely take out the Nuggets.
Anyone could beat the Nuggets because they're a fucking terrible team.
And they play
Dick.
Their fans don't even know like last year. That's fucking sad, dude.
So
the dude from Crossing Broad was out there interviewing people. He's like, who was the NBA MVP? He's like, I see your Nuggets hat there. Who was the NBA MVP last year? And they're like, oh man, I don't even know, dude. Get the fuck out of here, you fucking losers.
They're not fans.
I mean, here's the thing, though. You could make that video in any city, any sports team at any point in time in the year. You could do that easily. Because he probably interviewed 100 people and scrubbed the tape for 7 people that were just there for fucking hot dogs and cocktails.
No judgment zone over here.
I'm just simply saying that guy's kind of annoying. He's like one of those classic like street merchants that just screams in the microphone, like Billy. What's that comedian? Billy in the Street. You know what I'm talking about? He just run up to people. And he's like, for $1, do you know Will Smith's dog's name?
He's not that bad.
Who, Billy in the Streets?
No,
or Kyle.
Kyle. He's not that bad.
I'm just saying, he's a fucking street merchant.
I like the shtick.
I mean, I get it.
Anyway, I
just don't want to shoot on the stick.
I just chewed the shit out of that whole situation. So, the confidence level, like, do we even like? Does anyone think there's ever one iota of a chance that the Sixers?
No, not unless not unless massive some kind of massive injury happens.
There's always a chance. Is it like 3%? Of course.
Yeah.
But do not go in this thing with 100% confidence. It bites you in the ass every time. Every time.
Yeah. Listen, they have to walk on that court as the alphas. They have to think of themselves as the alphas, and the fans need to support them and believe that they're the alphas too. Like that's the way you got to approach that. You got to walk out on that court and just go, we're absolutely rolling over.
Is it 5 or 7 games?
7 games.
So that means that the Nets need to be on point for 7 fucking well, 4 games probably, right, to win. So they have to be better than the Sixers for 4 games, and not necessarily 4 in a row, but 4 out of 7, right?
Correct. Yep.
That's like
chance.
a 2% chance of happening. But could they
There's
make
not.
it stressful and it's a fucking game 6? Yeah, I definitely could see it.
Sure. Yeah, I mean they could definitely do that. I think the Sixers win the series 4-1. I have a feeling that one game is probably going to be Miles Bridges scoring 40 plus points in that one game. He'll probably average somewhere between 28 and 35 for the series.
Is that one of the greatest? Is that one of the greatest Sixers blunders of like recent time?
It might be the worst
Ever?
mistake they've made. I don't know about ever because they've made some really bad ones. They've made some really bad ones, but it's probably the worst one in the last 15 years. I mean, and this whole story was right there for it too, with his mom working for the organization and him being a Philly kid, and he was a young guy that you could have let grow here.
What do you mean grow?
Grow into being a type of a player.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
any kind of growth from him compared to all the growth they needed from every single other person they fucking drafted that year.
I mean,
this isn't coming at you
anymore. You know?
That's what I mean. Like to even suggest that, and there's a lot of people that believe that. It's so silly to me because they fucking butchered that pick and. The NBA stepped in and they were like, Jerry's got to go. Jerry's got a big fucking collar. Fuck that guy. You know what I mean? And then they brought him in and they were like, this dude is literally a piece of shit. So fire him. And then they were like, we'll just let Brett Brown do the draft. I mean, how fucking idiot. It would have been better.
I still don't know if it was Brett Brown and Elton Brand that actually made that call. But the two of them were there at the time. And it was just... I'll use one of your terms, Kenny. It was fucking egregious. Absolutely egregious. Really, and it's probably the worst pick. And they've missed on other picks. I mean, say what you want about a lot of the other picks from Nerlens to Okafor. You could say Ben, although we got some decent years out of him before he went nuts.
You can rationalize the Okafor pick, right? They were worried about
you can, because
they were...
He's the best player in that draft. A lot of people did.
And they were worried about Embiid's foot. They didn't know what they were going to get out of that. So they were like, fuck it. Let's get a security blanket, and then we could trade him for a couple picks or something.
Yep.
Or a player.
Same with Noel. Same with Nerlens.
And I think if you looked at Nerlens, you would look at his career, and I think you'd be satisfied with a Sixers career there.
Yeah, dude. Guy was a serviceable big man in the league.
Yep.
You know? It's a shame he's not on this roster now as a backup. But I don't think he got cut in time.
Is he on a team?
Yes, he signed. I think actually with Brooklyn for a 10-day contract, and I think they let him go.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, but if he had been available, I think they would have grabbed him instead of Dwayne Dedmon.
Well, I would hope. I mean, anyone's better than fucking Dwayne Dedmon.
I don't know. He had 14 and 7 the other night.
Yeah, the G League All-Stars looked great the other night.
That Springer's going to be a special character, but the Doc Rivers won't ever play him, so he'll just fucking rot on the bench, and then it's like a Darren Ruff 2.0.
Fucking Aqualung over there.
I mean, it's a shame that Doc doesn't play the young guys early in the year. Like, he should.
He's not a good coach, and I'm going to say this very clearly and bluntly, and I don't care if you both are like, what? If they win a championship, I'd still fire his fucking ass. I hate that guy.
I understand that hatred. If they win a championship, he's not going anywhere.
I know. That's why.
Are you ready? Are you ready for a Doc Rivers you down at the complex? Because
you wanna watch me fucking break it?
Disgracing.
I'll put a GoPro on and I'll shard on it.
Oh man. I mean. Kenny's worst nightmare. Like the Sixers finally win a title and it's Doc Rivers.
And then I got to deal with Doc for another 3 years.
I mean, like I saw something online today and I thought it was very on point too. It was like Doc Rivers is a good coach. Glenn Rivers stinks. like keep Doc. You know what I mean? Doc was coaching those subs, those replacements against the Atlanta Hawks the other night when they absolutely smoked them in that fourth quarter, and that was a bunch of G League guys, dude, like and bench players. That was
like
Doc Rivers.
when you have that much talent around you, you kind of forget that you got to coach, right? You can't just throw these guys out there and be like, I don't have to do this. Is great.
And that's a great point. And that is one thing that every player's coach, and he's known as a player's coach, struggles with, is holding the guys that have all the talent and all that, like actually holding them accountable and making and pushing them. You know, like that's a skill when you can do it. And sometimes I think he loses some of that.
Since I'm clearly running the podcast today, Gordy, I have another question for you. One of my buddies said to me the other day,
That's how the turntables have turned.
Yeah, he literally said that Dave carries the podcast and you're just dead weight, and you say a weird story every so often. And I said, damn, that one hurt.
Shout out, Jaws.
No, that was another one. So that's 3 people.
Oh, that was 2 people said that?
2.
Kenny's
you're gonna be seeing me from the rafters. Don't ask me to do the dishes. Remember that Steelers video? That's one of my favorite playoff ones. Yeah. Can Tobias Harris show up for 3 series to win a championship? Can he show up for 1 game? Can he show up for half of it? Where is Tobias Harris?
No. Hold on. Can he doesn't show up? He means take over.
There's 2 different things. Those are 2 different things.
Okay, wait. Let me clarify because it's my podcast today. Okay, I think if he takes over, this is just my opinion. If he takes over 2 games, they have a really good shot of winning a championship. I mean, just 2 games in general. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But
if he
serviceable nights. So give me like over 17 points and over, and your decent stat line on the rebounds and assists, right? Just whatever you fall into that thing. That Toby, they win a championship if that guy shows up. So
17.
We're going to get
17, 8, and 4.
4 point. Yeah,
17, 8, and 4. It'd be perfect.
Yeah, I mean they win a championship if that Toby shows up every fucking game. But we're going to get 4-point Toby and negative rebounds. Fuck that guy.
If you get 4-point Toby and 2 or 3 boards. The Sixers are going to have a hard time advancing past the second round.
And you would think that a player that got a max contract wouldn't be putting those numbers up consistently, but guess what? Yeah, he does.
I hear you with the Toby hate. I understand it. And I'm not going to defend some of his stat lines because some of it's been bad. Some of it's been really bad, actually. But remember when they signed him, and I know because you guys have talked about it before, and Dave and I, they didn't really have much of a choice at the time. That being said, there were other teams that would have given him that contract at the time. Believe it or not, there were other teams that would have. And on top of that, he was signed really to be the second scorer, the third scorer on that roster.
He's not even doing that.
He's not. He's not that. But he's not that because of the emergence of Maxey. And not necessarily that he's taken a huge step back. He's been put in a situation. I'm not trying to defend the guy, but I do want to.
You clearly are. I mean, you have.
I am a little bit. I'm going to contextualize it for him, and for everybody here a little bit. The dude has done a great job, and he's not complained about it, having to change his game to try to help the team, to be a defensive stopper, which he never was, to try to rebound, which he doesn't do great all the time, to actually, sometimes initiate the offense, sometimes carry the load. He was always an isolation player. Like, he was a guy that when he got the ball, he ran isolation. The Sixers never call his number for that. Maybe once a game. Like, they don't do that anymore. Those plays
go. Why would they? They have no confidence in his ability to fucking
Joel and Harden. I mean, he's just not as good at it as Joel and Harden. So they're not going to call his number all that often. Now, what I would like to see, and this is something that this team does,
he has to be the fourth best player on the court. That's all we need out of him.
He does. Yeah. He does have to be their fourth guy. He has to be their fourth best guy. For real.
Do it.
Let's hope he can. Let's hope he can.
Pisses me off. Fucking him and Doc. They're too busy hanging out with cheerleaders.
I doubt that.
Piss me off.
Let's hope that they can get it together.
So the Heat
themselves
They're
there.
dead. That game's over.
Yeah.
They
So
are officially
the-
dead.
All right, let's get
The Heat will be
the
playing.
Timberwolves on.
Yeah, that game doesn't start till 10,
Timberwolves.
right?
Yeah, that game's coming up in a couple minutes.
This
What was I
TV
gonna
and
say? So-
this TV in the kitchen's a mistake.
Yeah, because we're never going to be able to do another podcast where Kenny pays attention 100%.
My
Uh,
therapist
yeah.
is trying to try to diagnose me with ADHD, so things could be in my future. Don't worry.
Oh, so you're going to get Adderall and then you're going to hit the pen and then see what happens?
He's gonna be laser focused.
He's going to be laser focused on the TV in his kitchen.
on the TV.
So
In college, when people in college when people used to be like, "Yeah, Kenny, take this Adderall," I'd take it, and then like they'd find me at the library because it fucking worked. Like I needed it, and then I'd be like, "Oh, I could do schoolwork." I'd be, it's the fucking, you know what I mean? So yeah, that was my college career.
I saw Gordy. I saw that the
The best team.
the best offense in the league on ISO, which
On ISO, they are. Yeah, they score well that way. Some of those stats, I don't know if that's also taken into account though. Early in the year when they had KD and Kyrie, that might
it
be-
is for sure. It is for
yeah,
sure.
Okay. Right now, so where they're at right now, just a quick breakdown on the Nets. They have a bunch of guys that are switchable on defense, and they have athletic wings, which we know can give the Sixers trouble.
100%.
Not have an answer. Not that any team really does, but no, they really don't have an answer for Joel Embiid. JoJo is and should just absolutely be a wrecking ball for them. And he's so good at this stage of his career at seeing where the double team is coming from or a triple team is coming from and hitting that open guy. The Sixers really should be able to almost pick and choose what they want to do on offense. Defensively, the Nets could give the Sixers trouble, but it would have to be some self-inflicted wounds with turnovers on the Sixers' part. If they take care of the ball, they probably win every game by double digits.
See now, so turnover into the turnover situation, and for the most part, they've been doing a pretty good job of taking care of the ball. But like they always those moments that, and it seems like they're always in the fourth fucking quarter where they just can't have their own way with the turnovers. You're spot on. They have to take care of the ball.
Yeah, if the Sixers take care of the ball, they're going to be a very, very, very difficult team to beat, no matter who they're playing against. I don't care if it's Boston. I don't care if it's Milwaukee. If the Sixers finish those games with a turnover or two less than the other team, because in the playoffs, these games slow down. And people talk about – so the difference between last year and this year and last couple of seasons and this year, you have 5 guys on that court that can all shoot, including P.J. Tucker. Say what you want about him. Say what you want about him. You do actually have to respect the fact that the guy will chuck
Kenny,
one
now's
up
your
the rim.
chance. Kenny, now's your chance.
There's
Go.
your chance. There's your opening.
Hey, the PJ Tucker I saw last game, I think when he played, he hit that critical 3, right? 2 times.
He had 3 of them in a row, back to back.
So what
Yeah.
does that even like? What does that mean though? Like what? He just decided he wanted to fucking shoot basketballs for 30 fucking straight games, 0 points, and then
Dude, I don't have an answer for you with that. I
and
I
if
wish I
PJ
did.
Tucker, if PJ Tucker's out competing fucking Tobias Harris, it's a fucking problem. It's a problem. I don't know if you know this. I fucking hate Tobias Harris.
You do.
I'm sure he is a good fucking dude, and I'm sure what he does in the community is outstanding. But as far as a basketball fucking player, I hate that fucking guy. Fucking punk ass bitch.
You really do not like him.
He's no, mortal enemy number 1.
Wow. That's saying something.
I know. I didn't think I'd get here either.
I mean, you got there, though.
Mortal enemy number 1.
Mortal enemy number
on
1. Toby. The guy's named Toby. Yes.
They took it away from him. Hey, just so you know, I just placed a bet. Hold on, I gotta get it. LeBron over 20, Anthony Edwards over 20, Anthony Davis over 20, and Carl Anthony Towns over 20 plus or minus 109 feels like pretty good value there because they're probably all going to get it.
I like that. That should happen because neither one of those teams play defense.
They're it's like fucking Harlem Globetrotters over there.
They don't play defense. I mean, LeBron will try.
You better hope somebody doesn't twist an ankle.
The T will. Well, that is a team on both rosters is made of glass too.
I mean, seriously, how many times did KD like?
I mean, dude, Anthony Davis is always
AD,
hurt.
Not KD.
AD.
KD also.
Too. KD too, but AD especially. AD's still young. KD's old at this point.
True.
But I mean, what's Barkley call him? Street clothes.
Street clothes. He called
it street clothes.
Barkley Durant is like the Batman Joker. I never knew I needed. It is
awesome, isn't it?
The fucking greatest.
It is awesome.
He doesn't give a fuck, man.
No.
So obviously, we think the Sixers will handle the Nets. First game is Saturday.
Yes, Saturday, 1:00.
You know what's crazy is like I know the Sixers are in the playoffs, but I'm also like am I gonna carve time to watch that game? I mean, I will if I'm not doing anything, but if nothing's going on, I don't know because I feel like it's like a stone cold lock, which is bad to say.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that too. I could see somebody going like they should take care of business. Why should I invest my time?
And like during the week, you're like, all right, well, what do I got to do? I got to go down like. Maybe work out if I'm feeling frisky enough, and then I don't do anything. Watch fucking New Girl again for the 19th time.
the early line on that game, by the way, is 8.5.
Like 10.5.
Is it 8.5 now? 10.5?
Yeah, 8.5.
I haven't even looked at it, to be honest with you. My Masters bets didn't come through, so I haven't taken a look at my. I haven't looked at it.
Yeah, you and everyone else Masters bets didn't come through.
-8.
Unless you really, really live, and then you probably made money.
I think
if you cashed out. If you cashed out like that morning with Brooks up 2 shots, 3 shots.
You know how much you would have won on a Phil Mickelson top 5?
Oh my god. That's like fuck you money.
Stupid. Stupid money.
The whole live thing is so silly to me because like I remember I went in we had a family party and I roll in and I see all these people like from the live and I'm like, what the fuck are they doing here? This is a PGA event. And then everyone's like, no, they can still play the major tournaments. They just can't play like Betty Boop's fucking Christmas special fucking tournament or something like that. It's stupid. Why wouldn't you go to the LIV? You can get literal immediate money, play in Saudi Arabia for buku fucking bucks and still come back and play in the major tournaments. It's fucking silly. You're a fool if you don't do it.
I don't blame any of them for taking the money. Just don't tell me that you're not doing it for the money.
Oh,
that's where I have the issue.
It's money.
Yeah, it's money. Just say it's the money. Like of all the live guys, and I still like a lot of those dudes. I'm not sorry to see Reed off the PGA Tour.
Oh, fuck that fat hillbilly Alabama fuckface.
Don't like that dude.
No, his name is Patrick Reed.
Patrick Reed.
Oh my god! You better hope I don't meet a Patrick that I don't like because that is his name immediately.
Have you never called a Patrick?
No, I never even. Dude, that's an incredible.
I guess that's just a South Jersey thing. What the hell?
Especially as a fat dude, like you allowed to like that's the rule, right? Like when you're a fat dude,
just writes itself, you know?
Yeah, you could just call anybody you want fat because you're fat.
I'm like super fucking excited that you just said that to me, Patrick. I like that.
Now wait till you got a guy running a meeting somewhere to some job site and his name's Pat or Patrick.
I was just thinking
it's even worse when you stand up there and say Patrick. Because listen, that's kind of a dick move, right? Just be Pat. Why you gotta be Patrick?
Well, so I have this argument all the time. People are like, when are you going to change your name from Kenny to Ken? Like, never, ever in a million fucking years. Unless my dad dies. because we were contemplating naming
Even
our.
then, why would you change the
I'm not.
name? That's not like what you go by.
I was telling Chrissy that I was like, we should name our son, the third, right? And then she was like, well, what are you gonna go by Ken? And I was like, no. And he's like, well, she's like, I'm not gonna have two immature Kennys running around here. You're gonna be like, what?
Kenny.
You could have
It's
a junior.
I am a junior, you fucking jabront.
No, but call him. You could call your son Junior.
There's actually a pretty sick name. If you have a third, you can call him Trip, which I like Trip. So that's what we would have done, but I'm not willing to change my name. Ken? It just sounds so fucking old and decrepit and fucking fat. Literally my dad.
I hope your dad doesn't listen to this podcast.
Oh, he knows I'm just joshing him. All the years he told me he didn't want me, he at least means that.
Just ribbing him. Kenny,
Yeah.
we got so close. So Gordy, you may not have known this because you don't partake on the Twitter webs, which I totally understand. Gordy is a Reddit-aholic.
Reddit?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gordy
I
loves
do Reddit.
Gordy gets.
I know what you're doing over there on Reddit, Gordy.
Well, yeah, of course.
I know
But
what you're doing. Finding
but-
page sporadic naked.
But also there's actually some shit that he digs up on Reddit. But so Gordy doesn't know about this, but we've been on the push. We broke 300 followers on Twitter and we're trying to get to 309. So Kenny can give us this juicy Cinema 309 story.
This story's launch.
But I promised the people that it would only happen if we hit 309. And we are currently, as of 10:03 p.m., sitting at 305.
So next week for sure.
We need 4 more followers. I think we'll get it by next week.
4 more.
Man,
Joe Sparrow said he's going to create fake accounts so that he can get us to 309.
Make it happen, Joe. Come on.
it is one of my funniest stories of adolescence movie theater of all time.
It's fucking great. We definitely got to pump that out. So
And I never gave Dave the extended version of that. There's like so much more after that. Like,
oh yeah, we're gonna get the whole thing.
fucking thing is
The
disgusting.
whole thing. Okay.
The
Something to
whole
look forward
enchilada.
to in the next pod. I like
That's
it.
right. That's right.
I like it.
So Gordy, do you see any upsets?
As far as the first round goes.
Yeah.
Lakers, baby.
Yeah, listen. If the Lakers end up as the 8 seed playing the Nuggets, that's dangerous. Because the Lakers are playing very well. The Nuggets are kind of not at the moment. They really kind of limped a little bit into the playoffs, and it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. The Lakers could end up as a 7 seed, though.
Right, and then
if
they would face Memphis, right? I think it is.
Memphis. Yeah, and I'll tell you, listen. Memphis is good. I like Memphis. I like their team. But that could go 7. That series could go 7 games, and could go either way. It would not surprise me.
Memphis will never win anything until they grow up.
You're absolutely right about that. To be honest, like you really are.
They're too fucking young, and they need a veteran. They need a LeBron. If they had LeBron James, I'm telling you, put your money on Memphis because that's leadership. That's what you need.
And unfortunately, Memphis is hurt too. So I don't know if you guys know this. Steven Adams, I don't think he's coming back from the playoffs. He's hurt. He is big and he is strong and he is a very good rebounder and defender. And in that, he's their anchor. Not that they don't have guys that can fill in that spot. It's for spot duty, but not the way he can. There's a reason he's a starter in that league.
What is that, Patrick?
No, those are all the injuries for Memphis. Look at that.
They're hurt. They're hurt.
Yeah.
They're ripe for an upset. So whether it's the Lakers,
is Morant still in rehab or is he finally free?
no, he's back. He's ready to ball out.
Until he brings his fucking gun.
Dude.
He
Yeah.
just needs to stay away from the strip club.
Don't we
What
all?
strip club?
Don't
What
we all?
strip club lets you bring a gun in anyway?
Oh, dude, if you're fucking and if you have $10,000 in one, do you see the floor? The floor looked like money carpet.
No, I
Yeah,
didn't. I
it
didn't see
did.
the floor.
It
Salty
did
dollars.
actually. Yeah. You couldn't see the floor. You couldn't see the floor. He around the metal detectors. We get wanded. You know what I mean? That's let's be real. We're not the celebrity. We're not the
That
celebrity.
reminds me, Kenny. You went to the game on Saturday, and I heard it about the Phillies have like this new way of like getting in, like with like the detectors or whatever. Like, did you experience anything different or no?
I blacked out.
I know, but do you remember walking in? No,
No, I don't remember walking out. The only thing I remember, I came to around like the ninth inning, which is perfect timing for me. And it really wasn't. It wasn't the alcohol that did me. For some reason, I've told everyone at this tailgate. There was a lot of us, like 20 people. There was a lot of people there. This pen, it's my thing. Fucking go to bed, wake up, go to bed, drive, wake up, go to bed, operate a forklift, go to bed, and it never really messes me up. It just keeps me, going. For some reason, I smoked this in the park and I was on fucking Jupiter for like 6 innings. So I didn't even try to get it in because I didn't need it. You know what I mean? So I was just kind of really banged up. So I don't remember.
Well, in fairness, those 6 innings only took 30 minutes. So
I don't remember a different. I do remember there wasn't turnstiles. I don't believe I didn't empty pockets. But again, I only had my phone because Chrissy had my money. I didn't have keys. I didn't have a wallet. So, the whole thing's a blur. I'm not the right guy. Opening weekend is not for me. I don't remember shit.
you're like John Doe at that point. You got no money and no ID,
Dude, I
no
was fucking
keys.
free. The DD, the pregnant DD. It was great. And I will give my wife kudos. I didn't hear one complaint. She just fucking balled out, had a good time. I didn't even know she was miserable until the next day.
I mean, you had to assume she was miserable. Come on, that doesn't sound like a great time.
No, yeah. And then she had to drive 3 of us hammered drunk home. That's
No,
tough.
that's fucking legendarily terrible.
Yeah. So kudos to her. I thought for sure I'd know something.
All right, well, I got nothing out of that. Thanks, Kenny. I was supposed to go to that game.
Hey,
But,
you're the guy that sent the on-field reporter who does not do well. This is 6 straight games I've not remembered.
Jesus,
that's actually an
took the-
impressive streak, to be honest with you.
Thank you. And the best part was just I remember I was sitting there and then I was like,
He told me, Gordy. He told me it took him three innings to get like something, food or drinks or something, and he checked in with our buddy Matt, and Matt told him it took half an inning. He had no idea.
No, but it did take Jason and Lily. It took them. This is truthful. They took them like 3.5 innings to go from home plate 400 to Campos and get a cheesesteak. That was truthful.
Well, they showed on the broadcast. They showed a line at one of the cheesesteak places. I don't know which one it was. I don't think it was Campos. And that line, Charlie's. That's the other one right there, dude. I was like, I'm looking at it, and the camera's they pan the camera down the line.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, those people at the end of that line ain't getting back for 3 innings. Like legit.
Some dude on Twitter was like, "Where do you guys go to the game just to get booze and food?"
I was just gonna chime in on that.
Shit.
So this guy gives me shit. He's like, "Well, why don't you eat and drink before you go to the game, idiot?" I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, what planet is Twitter? Like, what is this? What? You can't go to the game and get a beer and a fucking sandwich? Where the fuck are you? Idaho?
That same guy would be complaining if they didn't have that stuff available. You know what I mean? Like
Unbelievable.
Is hockey in playoffs right now or no?
No.
Oh,
Not yet.
Yeah, you're right. 2 more games.
Yeah, it's close.
Flyers
It's
won
close.
tonight. Of course, they won tonight.
And I heard the car is coming back for the playoffs.
Well, are you surprised?
No, he's a baller.
They did the same thing with Matt Stone. People were pissed about that, by the way. They put him on the injury report, and then they were able to use like $7.5 million of LTR or whatever, and then now he's ready to play for the playoffs. It's so fucking funny because You know what I mean? Obviously, they wouldn't have been able to get all those, this whatever they did.
Yeah.
So that will be changed. I bet you next year they'll have some kind of new Matt Stone calls.
I saw the Bruins broke most wins in a season. It's pretty notable.
I hate to tell you this, no one's beating them. No one.
No, they're awesome. I can't wait. Honestly, I'm looking forward to watching them in the playoffs because
they're the greatest hockey team on ice, ever. I mean, I'm not even exaggerating that number. They are that fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, playoff hockey is on another level anyway, and it's perfect for us that we don't have a hockey team anymore. So, now we can watch playoff hockey and actually enjoy hockey. So I'm looking forward to watching Boston, to be honest.
And these are these teams that do this shit are teams like Boston that start Jeremy Swayman as their fucking goalie for the year, and no one's ever heard of this fucking guy, and he's 23-6-4. I mean, this is the shit that the Flyers can't do. Not saying anything about Carter Hart, but they don't get this guy that will fucking change your franchise for a couple of years. Look at the Penguins, the fucking Matthew Murray.
Yeah.
Go figure that. And now that dude can't save a fucking semi coming at the net. So they just use these guys. It's incredible. And the Flyers are just we'll pay Kevin Hayes $7 million fucking dollars to do nothing. You know what? We had fun with JVR in 2007. Let's bring him back on a fucking lucrative deal, and then he'll only put up 13 goals. Fuck that. The Flyers are terrible.
The Flyers are terrible until they get another owner. To be honest, they really, really, really needed legitimate owner.
It's never gonna happen. It'll happen. It's just gonna be.
Imagine if you had $1 billion, right? Your $1 billion corporation, and then you had the Flyers, who are still making the easiest millions of dollars you're gonna make on your ownership. You know what I mean? People dumber than me apparently still go. And still, well, you know what it is? This year will be the telling tale because Dave said it best last podcast or 2 podcasts ago. He said they already paid for their season tickets. So, you're going to go. You know what I mean? It's your money. Yeah. You already wasted it.
Yeah.
The only thing you can really do is maybe not eat there, right? Or buy merchandise if you go.
I went to a hockey game this year for the first time in many years. And
it was terrible, wasn't it?
It was a horrendous experience. As a fan, it was awful.
Do you want to know how fucked up this is? I had 6 tickets with $60 each on them for free for my birthday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Totally forgot I even had the tickets. Didn't go. Didn't even remember that we had the tickets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the Flyers for the first time ever, at least in my life, are out of the sports world in the city. They've always been a part of it, even if you weren't a hockey guy. You knew about the Flyers because they were always solid. Not anymore.
Well, there was from I don't know. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong. From 1990 to 2020, they missed the playoffs 2 or 3 times in that span. They always make the playoffs. They're always a solid team.
Yeah, they're always good.
Now, I think not so much. I didn't know if it was 1990 or if it was 2000. You know what I mean? I didn't know where the cusp of that line was. It might be mid 90s, but regardless, they were always a solid fucking team. Hockey is the best when it is actually your team is good. There's no point to watch bad hockey. It's terrible because it's always 7-2.
It's bad.
You know what I mean? There's they etched one out and they're playing better now. And Tony DeAngelo, that fucking signing, that's abysmal signing. They benched him. They don't, dude. This is how little they think of Tony DeAngelo. They ran 5 defensemen the other night instead of playing this fucking guy. Because the fan was in the Calder Cup, or not in the cup.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
So it's just that fucking guy is gone. Half the team is gone. They're going to keep two or 3 people, and you're going to see a bunch of AHL players next year.
They made the playoffs in '95 with Terry Murray. That was the strike, the weird season. They lost the conference finals. They made it in '95, and then they didn't not make it again until 07. And it was the only year they didn't make it. And then they fired Hitchcock and they brought in Stevens, and then they went to 5 consecutive
Mhm.
Yeah.
again.
So they've just
Yes,
been.
I mean,
solid.
they were a just a perennial, like, count on them to be good, like basically the way we look at the Eagles right now. Like that's how we looked at the Flyers back in that time frame. And it's
And they were also at that point they were a destination that guys would always look at, even if they didn't always come here. They always looked at it. Like if you're a hockey player, coming to play in Philly was something that people would want to do.
It's this weird thing where it's like, and I know that Dave might. I think you'll agree with me. It's like, oh well, we got to get away from the Broad Street Bullies. But what ended, because they did, like, it was just a shitty identity that was from the 80s. And, they were really good at that point. But, like, what they ended up doing was go to the complete fucking polar opposite. Right. Where they don't even have one guy that you're like, okay, well, that guy could beat up someone. They don't defend anyone. And they made a mockery of Giroux. The Flyers are just in a bad state, and they will be, like we just said, until they sell.
Yeah, we're going to be dealing with this for a little while. It's going to take a while for them to dig out, for sure. But it did not take the Phillies as long as everybody thought to dig out. And listen, they started the season 1-5. Everybody was doom and gloom, thought the fucking season was over.
They're exhausted.
Now they're 4-7, which isn't amazing, but they're 3 games out of first place.
No, and when I said they're exhausting, I don't mean the Phillies. I mean they are. Like we already talked about this. It's because baseball's a long fucking dredge, right? Like it's long.
Baseball's a grind, for sure.
But this Bryson in the veins, dude, is just you gotta block him.
You want to block him? I
really don't want to block him because I love just reading his, like, he's got to be a 13-year-old kid because the shit he says is the most dramatic shit I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. But people like that exist, and they're the problem, And then Twitter makes it tougher to be a sports fan. Write that on your fucking tombstone.
Of all things, things. It's a good call, Gordy.
You're right.
Seriously.
But I just wanted to share something because I was looking at stuff with baseball and everything, and obviously tonight was not a good night. I actually thought that they might somehow pull out a 5-1 homestand. They clearly are not going to do that. They lost tonight to the Marlins 8-4. They had an onslaught happen last night, and the Phillies. I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but the Phillies have the best batting average in the NL.
I did not realize
surprise me. They just don't hit clutch.
And the second best OPS in the NL.
And JT last year started slow. Kyle starts slow. It's fucking too many games to be all up. It's not the NFL. We're not 50% done. Like, chill.
And that's what everybody in this town does. Every sport is football. Every game means everything.
Yep. And I heard Gargano the other day. And listen, man, Gargano is probably pretty kind of tired at this point. I feel like he's even tired of being on the radio, to be honest. It's the way he feels sometimes.
You know what the problem, Dave, let me just cut you real quick before you do this. Don't forget it. The problem is all the old guys need to be put out to pasture, right? Like, we're done with them. But all the new guys that are up and coming are trying to become these old fucking guys. And all they have, they just say the most egregious fucking shit.
Well, so I think the part of that is, I think that the shows like First Take, and
all the hot take stuff,
like all those shows, like, they're ruining sports talk because now sports talk is all about hot takes. It's not about, like, having conversation back and forth about what you think about sports. Dude, like, I listen to 97.5 morning show sometimes, Kincaid, and, like, I don't hate them.
Stinks.
I don't hate them, but, like, don't even take phone calls anymore. Like, they just talk to each other. And I don't know, like, if we could on this fucking podcast, I would do it. I'd love to do that.
So Always Sunny in Philadelphia did an episode where they called a fanatic, right? And, like, And that was like in the earlier parts of the season. They've been on forever. And like that's what sports talk radio should be. It should be a lot less hosts talking, and it should be a lot more of us pieces of shit calling in and fucking talking. Because you know what? It's okay for I honestly believe this. It's okay for like a Philadelphia fan to be fucking ludicrous and like have just terrible fucking takes. You know what I mean? Because like that's what we do, you know. But like when I have to listen to fucking these guys on the radio that are employed to just sit there and just be like, if Jalen Hurts doesn't get 30 touchdowns in training camp, the Eagles won't do anything, and then the Eagles go to the fucking Super Bowl. So like. Finger my asshole. I can't handle this shit with these fucking guys. They're the worst.
Yes, they are the worst. You say
Well,
you put it
Giglio's
so
the worst
perfectly.
on WIP.
And like watching him play basketball, like, bro, you shouldn't fucking talk sports. You shouldn't even talk fucking equestrian.
Yo, there you go.
Kenny
Bring
doesn't
on
even
board,
like.
Kenny,
Kenny
come
doesn't
on.
even. Kenny doesn't even like the Olympics, and he comes out with equestrian.
Equestrian. I mean, Jesus, I love it.
Fucking
Dig into
dressage.
it. That dude, listen, I don't even know what the guy looks like. He could knock on my door right now. I wouldn't know it was him.
Oh, I know who it was, and I'd fucking bludgeon his fucking eyeballs off.
All I can tell you is nobody on WIP that has worse takes than that guy. And they've got a few guys that are pretty bad. But that dude,
He's bad.
he just says shit that just, I mean, I legitimately get irritated listening to him. Like it's not the type of like hate the face. It's not a bad guy in wrestling, like the heels being the heel because you want to, beat him up or whatever.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
like I don't want to listen to this guy. It makes me want to change the channel. That's the bad kind of heat. That's not what you want. They got
agree.
he's got a show.
They're pushing it. They're pushing it really far, man. And like,
Oh my god, terrible dude.
it's getting brutal.
And I'm not a big fan of Hugh either with him. Like, although he's not nearly as bad as Giglio is. Giglio's terrible, dude. Absolutely terrible.
You can tell he like wants to pump the brakes though. Hugh, he's like, I don't know.
Yeah, there's been a few times where he's been like, I don't know about that. Like,
yeah.
But he's a sidekick on that show. I mean, he might be the marquee name, but show, Giglio's the radio guy, so he's not gonna, actually.
Yeah, no, you're right, 100%. I know.
And Joe's, Hugh has been on and off of WIP multiple times, so
It's his gambling addiction.
So the Phils, the Phils are sixth in the NL in runners in scoring position, batting average.
I knew they were hitting well. Like I even without last night's game, I knew overall they were hitting well. I didn't realize they were quite that good. I knew
Yeah,
they were
last
good
night-
for the league.
The Phillies are either going to score 455,000 runs a game, or they're going to fucking give you one run ball. Like this is the team. It's okay. It's
Right.
fucking April.
Right. It's still April.
So
Early
I saw that Ranger had a bullpen session and threw like 35 pitches, felt good. They're gonna check him out tomorrow, but they're gonna have a situation on their hands now because now Ranger comes back. You got Falter and Strom, who basically are your two best pitchers.
Yeah,
There's
right now they are.
There's no dilemma. There's literally no problems at all.
Well, who you throwing out? Who you throwing out?
Ranger goes to 3, Falter goes to 4, and Pastrami stays at 5, and Walker, you're in the bullpen until further notice. Listen, put up or shut up. You know what I mean? Come out and fucking don't walk.
Will they
45
actually?
fucking
Will
guys.
they? I agree with you, but will they do that? Is my thing.
Well, probably not because they're looking at money value to where the value is, and yada yada yada. But guess what? Falter looks like he can pitch,
Strom looks like he can pitch better than Falter.
and he'll come down to fucking earth. We all know that both of those guys are going to be struggling with a 4.8 ERA at some point. And
What if this is that year that while obviously the Flyers can't find that guy, what if this is the year the Phillies found two of them?
It's possible, dude.
I
mean, Strom. They call him Pastrami. Pastrami was a starter in his lifetime. Now, obviously, he's fallen from grace and he's been shunned to the bullpen. Whatever. But like, if they have Strom in there going five innings, and he's got an ERA of like 3.5 5. Like, I want that. I want him in my starting rotation. I don't care how much they're paying.
They could always go to at least briefly until Nola and Wheeler kind of kick into gear here. They could go to a 6-man rotation. If they bring these guys back, they could do that and just stretch it out a little bit, give those guys an extra day of rest.
They could.
I wouldn't do that for very long, but I mean, you could get a start or two out of these guys before you throw somebody in the pen.
What does that get you? Like, I hear you, but all that gets you is like potential losses in the long run, and just like eventually, like we talked about, like 2 or 3 of those guys are gonna fall back to earth. Like I know what you're saying, and I agree with you.
No, I like it. I like it because look, he's on something. Because think about it, Nola's doesn't have it right now. He hasn't found it yet, and Wheeler hasn't found it yet either. So if you give those guys extra rest in the beginning of the season, don't eat up their arms. They're clearly not ready for whatever reason. If they're still dead arm from October or whatever it is, it might not be a bad idea to go with a 6-guy rotation. I don't know. It's not normal. It's not standard, but they need a little rest. Maybe it works. I don't know.
But Kenny hits the right point, though. I mean, the reason teams don't do 6 is because they want their best guys out there every 5th day. But if your best guy's not pitching your best, not even close to your best.
And when Ranger comes back, they're gonna break him in slow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they are.
5 innings, 6 innings, 3. You know, yeah, you're definitely right.
Yeah, they should. I mean, they should. They should take their time with them. I mean,
so the Phils have no off day.
No, they don't for a while.
The Phils have no off day.
I was looking at that today. They don't for a while.
Oh my god! Until April 24th. We got baseball every day until April 24th. That's fucking mad. That's madness.
When they finish this year, they got to travel to Chicago, right? It was Chicago.
They're going straight to Cincy for 4.
Okay, Cincy, then Chicago, yeah.
And then the White Sox. Yep.
Well, that could be fun.
Yo, and by the way, I need to get this off my chest. The Rays are over fucking rated, okay?
Yeah, no shit. They play the Nationals, the fucking North Penn Little League team.
Like, can we stop? Rays are some legendary fucking franchise right now. Like they played Detroit. And listen, I know that it's hard to start 11-0. I get it. Totally get it. But they played the Tigers, the Nationals, the A's, fucking Boston Red Sox, who are they're unbelievably bad. I can't believe how bad they are. It's unreal, really.
Mm-hmm.
I never in a million years thought that the Red Sox would be that bad. They're bad.
They are bad.
So can we just stop with that? Let's put that to bed. Kenny, are we at 309?
You better no. This is an open the podcast story.
I just wanted to check. We're at 305.
305.
Did you ever do the 1-chip challenge?
Jesus
Christ. Called out. Called him out.
I do owe it. I'm not paying $25 for a chip that's going to give me diarrhea.
Fair.
As a dude's eating that chip, and it does not look like a good time.
The key is you can't let it touch your lips.
That's what she said.
Okay.
What lips?
All right, we've reached the part of the podcast where it just fucking takes a hard left turn, and
welcome to another manic Monday.
It doesn't come back. So, all right, by the time we come back here again, Sixers will hopefully be up 2-0.
Should be.
The Phils will be probably in second place.
Second place, probably 500 better.
I hope so. I mean, the Mets are 6-5. That's second place. Atlanta's 7. And yeah. Same record as the Nationals is kind of laughable, really, but it's where we are, I guess. Whatever.
It's April. I'm not even worried.
So we obviously didn't touch on this really at all, but we should just just like maybe like tease a little bit. The draft is coming.
Tickle me pink. When is it?
It's basically
April 20.
3 weeks from now, right, Gordy? It's three Thursdays from this week.
Yeah, I'm going to be in Atlantic City, so I'll know. It is April 27th.
Shit.
April 27th.
That's gonna be tough. Fuck. That's gonna be tough.
It's a Thursday night.
Yeah, I'm coming back from that bachelor party, and then I'm going to see Shane Gillis that weekend.
Friday?
Yeah. Or is it Saturday? I don't even remember. One of those days.
That's why you gotta use that calendar on your phone.
Oh, actually, that's a good point. I think it is in the family wall.
There you go. See, the Eagles have an interesting
Saturday.
buffet ahead of them, and Gordy and I were talking about this a little bit today. There's a mock draft that I actually saw over. It was it Kuiper, Gordy?
It was Kuiper's, Mel's. Yeah, it was a good one.
It actually was. It was I when I first hear Mel Kiper, I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. And I looked at it and I was like, all right, I don't hate it.
It was 10.
The O lineman from Northwestern.
Okay.
And then he had him trading out of 30.
I love that.
And they got two second round picks. And the first second round pick, if I remember correctly, Gordy, was the running back from Alabama.
Yes. I'm going to try to pull it up. So I can.
Gibbs, right? Is his name Gibbs?
Gibbs sounds about correct.
And then the next pick was a linebacker, I believe, from Auburn.
Auburn.
If it's from the SEC, it's for me.
Peter Skronsky, Northwestern, was the first pick. Then the trade out. Then it was scroll.
I think it was Gibbs.
Traded with the Seahawks specifically. Who took Hendon Hooker, QB Tennessee, at 30.
That's Kenny's boy.
Yeah.
Hendon Hooker. And the Birds drop back. They take Jahmyr Gibbs, running back, Alabama, who is a pass-catching running back.
We already got one of them.
Who, Gainwell?
Yeah, they love him, dude.
This dude's a stud.
I'm not all in on Gainwell, man. You are.
No.
I'm not.
I like Gainwell as a change of pace guy. That's about it.
I never said that he was a fucking full-time starter. I just like him on third down.
You like Rashad Penny on first and second?
I love Rashad Penny. I love that.
I hope they don't play in preseason.
52 was Eagles. Hall, outside linebacker, Auburn.
First baseman.
Although they have him listed as an outside, talking about him as basically a pass rushing stand-up DN kind of guy. And then at 62, Jartavius Martin, D-back, Illinois, who can step from D-back from corner safety spot. That's 4 very high-level picks that all fit spots of need. That's a very nice little draft there by Mr. Kuiper for the Birds.
Yeah, that is interesting. And I was talking to somebody else, Lou, today about like these mock drafts, and like they're like, oh, this team's going to trade this pick for that pick, and then they're going to move back 4 spots, and then they're going to trade that one for 2/3 and a fucking 5th. It's like, who the fuck has time to fucking fake all these trades? Like, it's so weird. The mock draft.
Go on, sorry.
The mock draft thing is just funny to me, man. Like, it's cool if you just go through and you like everybody makes a pick, but like when you start like trading picks and shit, it gets a little weird
for cash consideration.
Yeah,
future cash considerations.
Yeah, did you see what they did at the Phillies game tonight at the end?
Did they take back the NL ring ceremony?
No, they're just launching fucking hot dogs on the field.
Oh no!
Yeah, Howard Eskin's pissed.
The fans threw hot dogs on the field.
Yeah,
That's beat.
that's not
That is
cool.
beat. There you go. That's why.
See, somebody's got to ruin it. Fucking
Always.
idiots.
Always.
That'll be the.
By the
That'll
way,
be like the
Eskin
lead
has
story.
Eskin has no reason to be pissed. He's a terrible journalist at this point. Sports radio talk, whatever. I mean, the Sixers could win the NBA title, and he'd still find a reason to crap on that franchise. Meanwhile,
100%.
the Birds,
And the Eagles do nothing wrong.
yeah, the Birds can do nothing wrong. They can get out of all of their draft picks and trade Jalen Hurts for a vending machine, and he would find a way to spin it.
It's so true.
That they're so genius, second level thinking.
All right, I think we're done this week. Gordy, thanks for hanging out tonight. We kept you for a whole hour and 20 minutes, whatever it was.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's a good time.
Can you feel the love tonight?
Kenny,
Tonight.
you've been gifted the gift of Fatrick for future use. With this pod. And listen, we're going to hear that Sixers song played 4 times in the next week. Lock it in. And they're going to get another 4 in that Boston series.
Ooh, yeah, let's go. The Boston series, I'm nervous. They can shoot.
It's going to be tough. I'm not to go back to that real quick, but just to kind of assuming the Sixers do get through the Nets, which they should, and the Celtics should move through whoever they end up playing in the first round. They'll get the Hawks. That series could end up being a little tougher than people think, just because the Hawks can score. They're not going to stop the Celtics, but that could turn into who chucks the most threes kind of series. Boston's defense is tough. Their default when you stop their first look on any play they run is to kick it out and shoot threes. And they have a whole roster that can do it. They shoot more threes than any other team in the NBA, aside from, I think only the Warriors take more. Something like that.
Makes sense.
And it does make sense there might be one other team up there. But, Boston, their whole roster shoots better than league average from 3. But can they do it for 4 games in a row? Because, again, they have no answer for Joel. And, by the way, I know a lot of people talk about how he had to go and score 50 for them to beat the Celtics the other night without Jaylen Brown. The rest of the Sixers, aside from Harden and P.J. Tucker late in that game, really did not play well at all.
Shocker.
It was
Tobias Harris.
Yeah, it was 3. It was 3 on the entire Celtics roster because the whole roster for the Celtics did played well.
Right.
And they still, Joel just took over the game, and that bodes very well because that was not a very good Sixers game overall. So I don't look at that like it's a omen against the Sixers that he had to score 52 for them to win. I look at it like he scored 52. The rest of the team really didn't play great, and they still beat a Celtics team that played a good overall game. So, Tobias didn't show up. So
there's going to be a couple keys to that series, and one of them is going to be making sure Embiid doesn't get in foul trouble. What did you look at?
Did you guys saw the you guys saw the Orioles doing the beer bong, right? This is a home run celebration with the beer bong.
I saw him doing the fountain. There was like spitting water.
Oh yeah, that was.
I didn't see this. No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, so the other day they fucking did a beer bong with obviously a water bottle or whatever. But Kyle Gibson, former Philly, he said we want to
opening day starter for the Orioles.
He said we want to make sure that it's rebranded a little bit. It's a Homer hose, not a dong bong.
A dong bong.
Dong bong.
They should have just left it called a dong bong. Come on.
Fucking funniest thing ever, man.
That's great. They should mark the shit out of that.
Dong bong.
Dong bongs. That'll go great on a shirt.
The Marlins hit for the first cycle in franchise history tonight.
Yeah.
Nice to be part of history.
Yay.
Yeah, like no hit in the World Series.
Yeah, that kind of history.
Yay.
Combined no hit.
It doesn't
Do you-
count.
And I mean this. Do you guys actually consider those legitimate no hitter? Because I don't. Because to me, a no hitter is always a complete game no hitter. Like I don't really.
Listen, the MLB put the graphic up and said no hitter. It's a fucking no hitter. You can't argue this with anyone. They have the ultimate trumps card. The MLB
Trash
recognized
no hitter. Trash.
Trash no hitters.
Get it? Trash.
All right, trash these fucking nuts. Hit the close on this. Let's go to bed.
All right. Kenny's too high for the ending. So, all right, listen, we're going to get to this next week. Kenny's going to tell us his story. I can't wait. I can't wait.
I can't wait either.
We're going to get the extended cut, the director's cut of the Cinema 309 situation. Yeah. Go Phils, go Sixers.
Phils, go Sixers. Play the song.
Play the fucking song, bro. I can't play the song, by the way.
I know you
because
can't.
I don't want to get in trouble because Spotify is a dick. But anyway. All right. Love you guys. Thank you.
Oh my
And
love.
We'll see you next week.
Peace out.
Sweet
Goodbye.
dreams.